Hey guys, it's Friday and I am gonna start the video out with the drink. I'm gonna do vodka and a little spoonful of frozen OJ and some classic lemonade. It's the sparkly water, flavored water stuff. Yeah, we're making pillows today, so excited. Should be fun. They're for my bedroom that I've been working on. That video should be up soon. I wanted to show you guys how to make some kind of unique pillow covers. The last ones I had shown you guys were just kind of basic, one color on the front, one color on the back, but I wanted to give you kind of some different designs you can do. So pretty excited. All right, so I'm gonna make my drink and then we're gonna get sewing. All right, I designed my pillow on paper. I am gonna show you guys what the sketch is, and then we're going to get cutting, okay? So here's the sketch. This is going to be the drop cloth. It's going to be the beige, same as my curtains, if you watched that video. This is going to be the black and white ribbon, and I'll show you all these materials here in a minute. I'm going to have black piping, and then I have orange. The black piping is going to go all the way around, and then the orange fabric is going to go just on each side. And then I think I might do some black, I think I'm going to do some gold brads. I have 6, so I'm going to do 3 on each to kind of keep the ribbon in. And then on the flip side, it's going to be just a solid black and white stripe fabric. All right, so let me show you. So here's the ribbon. So we're going to have ribbon. Let's see, here's the black and white stripe fabric for the back. Here is the orange that I'm going to use just on the sides. This is actually a napkin from Sea Wonder. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to that store. It is the coolest store. I'm not even sure they're around anymore. Last time I checked online, I know their store, or the store I used to go to in the mall was closed. I don't know. I looked online and I really couldn't find much. Anyway, so I have this from years ago. Here is the drop cloth. Okay, here's the gold brads. Gonna do that. And then, where's my black piping? I'm gonna do black piping. It's skinny. It's already pre-done. This is the brand. I was thinking of when I got this. I have several different colors. I have no idea, but the year they were made was 1986. So obviously I got them from somewhere. I don't know, I honestly have no idea. I've had them for a really long time, but it's pre-done, skinny, which if I do it myself, I normally don't do this skinny, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. All right, so let's get cutting. All right, so I'm gonna cut the back first. I'm gonna make my pillow 12 inches by 20. So this particular piece I had used for a curtain. It has stains in it. And so I'm just gonna try and figure out where the stains are. Sure, let me measure. I need to measure and make sure. What did I say, 12 by 20? Okay, so there's 20. Obviously you wanna add some room to sew my stitching. Okay, so I think this is 12, almost 12 by 21. Or 21 inches. All right, so I'm just gonna cut right, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna cut right on my stitch line. I think that should be good. And then I'm just gonna go up 12 inches. All right, so I'm gonna try and cut a straight line because my stitching isn't perfectly straight, but I want the line to be straight. All right. Just an extra ½ inch on each side because 20.5 is the max I was able to get out of this, so which is doable. So technically I'm cutting 12.5 by 20.5. All right, so there's the back of the pillow. Pretty easy, simple. Now I'm gonna pause you guys for a minute because I got a lot of fabric and this is gonna take me a little bit longer than the black and white stripe. I'll get back with you after I cut the same, do the exact same 12.5 by 20.5 out of my drop cloth. All right, I'll be back. Hey guys, I got my rectangle cut out of my drop cloth. Now I cut my ribbon and I'm making it so it's, I think it's about 2.5 inches in on each side. That way inside here's a square, basically 12 by 12. So I have a little bit of stitch witchery left, so I'm gonna iron that on, and then I have brads I'm gonna poke through. All right. Okay, so next is, those are on there. I have brads. So these are, what do these measure? Maybe about 1/4 of an inch little brads. Again, from scrapbooking. I have so much stuff from scrapbooking. I used to do it full time, all the time. Okay, we're gonna go there. Okay, so I have a big old needle. So I'm just gonna measure the center, which is roughly right here. So let's see. So I'm gonna stick one right here. See, it makes an ever so slight hole. So when I do stick these in, I'm less likely to snag the fabric. So I got those through, just flatten the back, and that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna do these two. I'm gonna center these, and then same on that side. Okay, so I got the brads on. So I got 3 and 3, 3 here. So next is I'm going to pin on the piping, and this is a 1/4 inch, which is perfect because that's what I actually have to sew. So I'm actually going to pin this and sew it here. And when you do piping, so this is the right side of the fabric, right? So what you do is you pin it on the right side and you put the rough edge on the rough edge. All right, so when you do that, you do your rough edge on the piping and the rough edge on the fabric. You're gonna pin like this, okay? And then I'm gonna sew as close to the actual piping as I can, which is about a 1/4 inch in. So then when it's finished, it's going to look something like that. I don't know if you can see, my shadow's in the way. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna get pinning. Okay, so I got some of my piping pinned on. I'm going to start to sew that all the way on, and then I'm gonna figure out the orange fabric, and the orange fabric is going to go on each of the ends. So there's that. So I'm going to sew this piping on, and then I'll figure this out, and we'll go from there. Okay, one thing, it's always best to switch your foot. So this is normal foot you'd use just for regular, I guess regular sewing, if you want to call it that. But when you're up against piping, it's best, don't ask me the names of the feet. I just know what they look like. Oh, here's, I thought I had a black bobbin in here. Okay, we'll save that in case run out. Let's see here. Here it is. I know there's names of the feet in the actual book, but I don't know what they're called. So this is one you're gonna do because you can get right up to the edge. Because when you sew this, you want to get right up, and you can do that with this foot. Okay, just a little side note. So remember when you're going around corners, you can put the needle in the fabric, lift up the pedal, and then you can turn it and it's not going to slide off your machine. Okay, so what you do is when you get to the end and you want to connect the piping, is you take, which is easier if you do it, the piping yourself, because if you're doing like pre-made, you kind of have to undo it. So you take out the stitching so you can take this apart. So what I do is take it apart a little bit. You cut off some of the excess of the actual piping. So I just cut some off. So then you want to do it, and I'll cut off some of the other end. You want to do it to where these two connect. And it's hard to try and flip it around like this for you. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Okay, so what you're going to do is, because you want it, what I do is you connect these two. See how I have all this extra fabric on the piping? So I'm going to cut, see there's the actual piping right here. So I'm going to cut this so it matches up to right here, okay? So then, okay, here's your extra fabric. Here's your piping from where you started. This is gonna go inside. So that wraps around. So then when you sew, it's hard to tell. It's just one long piping. So that is how you combine the piping together. Or one way anyway. It's the way I do it. So that is it for the piping. Next is taking the back. So this is what the front is going to look like. Okay, then I'm going to have, I think I'm going to cut just the edge because this is a nice finished edge. So I'm going to cut about an inch in, maybe a 1/4 inch more. Cut the whole side. So then what I'm going to do is when I sew, it's going to be gathered. Not a whole bunch, not this many, but it will be gathered a little bit. Enough to where this one piece fits. And I'll show you how I actually do that when I pin it, after I cut it. So that's going to go just on each end, not on this side, just on each end, on the shorter end of the rectangle. Then this stripe fabric will go on the back. So kind of have a two-sided pillow that are two different patterns. Okay? All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm ready to cut off two ends, and that's going to be my ruffle on two ends of the pillow. All right, so I have the stitching, a 1/4 inch past the stitching, and then I'll decide once I pin it, or see maybe how much of a ruffle I want. Okay, so there's one. Okay, so how you do this, there's different ways to do a ruffle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it here. So I'm going to pin it on each end and then the middle. And again, I know this is right side up, so rough edge, rough edge, rough edge. So you're going to pin those, all the rough edges together. So again, once you're done, it's going to look something like that, obviously, but there'll be a ruffle. All right, so I'm going to pin the one end. So then I'm going to find the center. All right, so again, pinned on each end, pin in the middle, and then in the middle of this, and then the middle of this. Okay, so again, when you sew, you're trying to stay on basically the inside of your piping. If you go over your piping, then you're getting into what you're going to be showing on the right side of the pillow. So it's kind of slow going, but you can kind of feel where the piping is. But you're kind of sewing blindly. I'm trying to get an angle for you guys. If I had a GoPro, I could put it on my head and show you guys easier. So here's what it looks like. So I have the needle, okay, I have the needle in the fabric. So that means I can lift up on the pedal, because you're gonna need to do that to make your little ruffle. Hang on, let me see if I can, okay. So let me see if this will be a little easier for you. So again, so I have this much to play with. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to, as even as you can get, but again, it's just a ruffle. So I made a little ruffle, okay, so I'm just gonna sew just over that ruffle. Okay, then I'm gonna lift up again. Again, I'm gonna kind of just test and make sure that it's kind of even. Okay, so see, just like this. So I'm probably just gonna sew all the way to my next needle. I have to stay on this side, because right here is the piping, so I have to stay on this side, which kind of is on this hemline right here, so that makes it a little bit easier. So right there. Okay, so now I have all this other fabric. I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna bunch it up just a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. I'm so excited. Look at that. See? It's not necessarily absolutely perfect, but it's a ruffle, fairly even, and I think it looks super cute. Okay, I don't know if you can see me, so I got both ruffles on. Here it is. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so cute. Okay, so still, this is the front. So now we take the back, and remember to put the two right sides together. So you want the ruffles and the piping facing inside. So when you sew, again, rough edges are always together. So inside is all of the pretty pillow, right? I'm not doing a zipper and I'm not doing an envelope pillow. I'm gonna stuff it. I actually have stuffing. I don't have an actual pillow to insert. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna leave maybe a 3-inch, not quite 4-inch opening to stuff all the stuffing in. And then either I'll hand sew it, or if I'm able to machine sew it closed, I will. I am just gonna sew this, just one seam or one stitch all the way around, and then we're gonna stuff it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, moment of truth. Putting it right side out. So it's all sewed, stitched together. The first row I made, I had to take it out. The fabric moved and it was way off. I actually ended up sewing it from this side so I could actually follow my the black stitch line I had done from the piping. So I ended up sewing it that way. I had to go back and fix a couple spots. No big deal. I hope. We'll see how it is when I turn it around. Yeah. All right, so let's do it. Yeah, so I left a little opening. Okay, so that's the opening. We're gonna flip it around. You're gonna start to put it right side out, and hopefully it will turn out okay. Isn't that so cute? So isn't that cute? And then here's the back. Now it's time to stuff it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that and I'll let you know what it looks like all finished. Okay guys, so I finished the pillow. Did it in one day. It's pretty amazing. For some reason, I feel like sometimes projects takes me longer, really for no reason. Anyway, here's where I stitched it up, just so you can see. It went from here to about here. It only shows a little bit on the white, on the back, on the bottom of the pillow. So from the front, you can't see anything. I think once it's on the bed, you know, seems a little lumpy, but I think once it's in there, it's pretty dim in there anyway. I think it's gonna be great. So there's the pillow. I will show it to you on the bed in my video showing you me redoing the bedroom, and that should be coming soon. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe, and if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, and I should be having some more projects coming soon. I should have the video for redoing the bedroom posted here soon, and I'm going to move on to the rest of my home. All right, I'll see you guys soon.